Hello, everybody. Wow, it's great to see so many people here. My name is Dana Nguyen, and I'm the product marketing manager in the US, where I work on Google Apps and Chromebooks for education, as well as our Google Education certification program. So it was great to fly over here, and it's great to see so much interest in our certification programs. So I'm going to talk a little bit about two different certification programs that we have, the Google Certified Teacher Program and our Google Apps for Education Certified Trainer Program. So I'm going to start with our Google Certified Teacher Program. So a Google Certified Teacher is somebody who applies and attends one of our Google Teacher Academies. And we started these in 2006, and we've had 13 since then all over the world. We did our first international one actually here in the UK in 2010, and we're coming back to London this April 4th and 5th. So we're really excited to be able to have more international Google certified teachers. We were also in Sydney last year, although we primarily stayed in the United States in the first 4 years that we had them. But you can see we have them all over the world. We have over 600 Google certified teachers today, and we're hoping to grow that even more this year. And the reason why we decided to go into the Google Teacher Academy and produce Google certified teachers and do this different kinds of training was the idea that while Google is a large company, we realized that many educators had very little awareness of all the different products we offered. And this was back in 2006. So they thought that, all Google did was search. And we wanted to share all the different tips that how you could use search in education. We wanted to talk about Google Docs and Google Earth and Google Maps and some of our other products like Google Books. And we wanted to be able to find the educators that we could be able to get the powers of 10 effect. So I'm sure all of you are familiar with the train the trainer approach. So that's really what we're doing with the Google Teacher Academy. And what we did is we wanted to find the most innovative and creative educators who we could bring on campus onto our Google office, into our Google offices, to give them a free day of professional development where they got to network with each other, where we invited Google product managers and engineers, and really made it a very intense full day of training. And then those teachers then, we realized, went out and socialized all of these different concepts to their personal learning networks. And we actually were able to see that, with one Google Teacher Academy, we would see over 7 million students who would be impacted by all the information that was shared. So in thinking about, I often ask, well, how do you select who are going to be Google certified teachers from all those different applications? So we're looking at the people who are going to have an impact, people who are influential in their education communities. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody is that way, but that is definitely one of the things that we look at, because we want to see this kind of effect of the train the trainer, where, especially in the UK, where we don't have very many Google certified teachers, we're going to rely on the GCTs in this area to go and talk about Google Apps all over the country and the rest of Europe as well. And just a quick background, I realize I didn't speak much about what happens at the Google Teacher Academy. So the Google Teacher Academy, we bring about 50 teachers to our campuses, and we have them go through a full, intense day of training. It's like 12 hours of training, plus we feed you occasionally. Now, we have lots of snacks and meals in the Google offices. And we go through all sorts of different presentations by some of our Google Certified Teacher alumni, sharing their own tips and tricks. And then we also bring in our Google product managers. And since 2010, we've added an optional second day, which is more of an unconference. So what we found is the Google Certified Teachers said that one day was great, but their head was spinning by noon. And they, by the end of the day, they just had so much information to process. So what we wanted to do was give everybody a night to relax, to decompress, to kind of think about everything. And then on that second day, everybody came back, and we had just an informal unconference where people formed tables or took groups, and for 40 minutes to an hour at a time would be able to discuss all the things that they learned the previous day. And I'd say overall, we're looking for people who are tech savvy. You don't necessarily need to know everything about Google, but it certainly helps. Certainly helps to have a Gmail address and a Google account. But the other thing to keep in mind is the travel. So I'm also asked, does Google cover the travel costs to coming to Google Teacher Academy? Unfortunately, we cannot. We can't cover the travel costs, but we do provide you with all of the training that day for free, and you get all of your meals, and we have all sorts of fun giveaways that we're able to provide as well. So we have our next Google Teacher Academy here in our London office on the 4th of April, and that optional unconference day is on the 5th. You can see that the applications are open right now at google.com/educators/gta.html. You can apply up until the 9th of February, and that's actually the deadline is midnight Pacific time, which is lucky for you guys because that means you actually technically have until the 10th at 8 a.m. So you've got a nice little buffer there. And some of the benefits. So once you become a Google certified teacher, you join, we have an online community, like I said, of over 600 different Google certified teachers, and it's very active. We have probably 20 posts that come through every day from the Google certified teachers where they're asking questions of each other, where they're arranging meetups at different types of schools and conferences, and there's really just a community around that, and very active on Twitter as well. And then you also get to participate at Google events. So in our teaching theater here, you might have seen that we had several Google certified teachers give presentations. So we often invite Google certified teachers to represent us at different conferences that we're not able to attend and to come present in our teaching theater. And then we'll also bring you on campus for face-to-face meetups once or twice a year. And then another benefit here, it looks like it lost its bullet point, but it's to become what we call a trusted tester of some of our products. So you get a little bit of a sneak peek. Every Google certified teacher is required to sign an NDA, but that does give you some special access into seeing what's coming in the Google products. Of course, you're not able to share that with everybody, but at least you then know what's coming and get to give us feedback. And a lot of our products we really do want to see used in the schools and need your feedback and need feedback from our Google certified teachers to be able to make it a product that we think is going to be suitable for students and teachers. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about our other certification program, which is our Google Apps for Education Certified Trainer program. So a couple differences. So to become a Google certified teacher, you actually come to campus and you receive training from us, and you don't necessarily have to be an expert on those things. We also are limited to the number of Google Teacher Academies we can hold in 1 year, and you have to be physically present in order to become a Google certified teacher after completing that training. The Google Apps for Education Certified Trainers really has a different audience. We're looking at people who are specifically going to go around and deliver training to schools who want to move to Google Apps for Education. What we found is that a lot of schools were asking us, can you come and visit our school and teach us how to use these tools? And we have a very small team, both in the UK and the US, and we wanted to find some of the teachers out there that we know there are rock star trainers who know everything there is about Google Docs and Google Sites, and we wanted to recommend them so that we can be able to point schools to these Google Apps for Education certified trainers and have them come and deliver the training. So the Google Apps for Education certified trainers are already experts. So in order to become a Google certified trainer, you have to complete an application, and part of that application includes passing 6 exams. So we have exams on Google Apps, Google Docs, Google Sites, Google Calendar, Gmail, and some of our other tools that include things like Moderator and Contacts. And I think we're including another one in there now, but I can't remember what it is. But those 6 exams you have to complete, which makes you you get a certificate when you complete the exams that makes you a Google Apps for Education or a Google Apps for Education qualified individual. And so that's a requirement in order to become a Google Apps certified trainer. You already need to know Google Apps forwards and backwards, but we do have a training center, and I'll pull that up in just a minute, where you can learn everything that you need to know that's going to be on those exams. And really, if you go through this training center, you'll know everything there is to know, period, about Google Apps. And I can attest to the quality because I wrote most of it myself. So if you find typos, you can definitely blame me. Hit me on Twitter or Google+. I'm sure you'll find me and let me know, and we'll change those right away. So with this training material, you go through it. It goes, in very much great depth of what you need to know, and then you apply to the program. So the application includes some short answers. It includes, how much experience you have delivering Google Apps training. So we're also looking for people who have experience delivering training. So if you pass the exams but have never actually delivered training, we're asking for you to get at least 20 hours of training Google Apps to other teachers. And you can do this informally via webinars. You can just train a few teachers at a time. But really what we found is there's a lot of value in actually going and training people on how to use Google Docs, as it'll refine the type of curriculum that you'll do when you're actually actually hired by a school or brought on by a school to deliver that training. And so you need to have the online application. There's also an introduction video that's required about yourself, to tell us about yourself. Because we don't actually have you come on campus to participate in our event, we need a little bit more background information on you. And so we also ask that you submit a screencast or a demo of your favorite feature in Google Apps. So, you know, we're looking for people who really know Google Apps, so tell us about why they like using Google Apps and what specific feature you find to be the most useful. So some of the benefits, on the Google Apps for Education Certified Trainer side, we're looking again to find people who we're going to recommend to schools. So we have you post in our Google Apps Marketplace. We're under as a EDU specialist, and then we also promote you on our own website. We have a certified trainer database, and we also include you in some of our emails that we have with schools recommending specifically who people can contact if they want training. You also get to join our community. We have over 200 certified trainers all over the world right now, and then you can also participate as a trusted tester, as I mentioned before with the Google Certified Teachers, participate in events. And there is one thing that is good to know, which is there is a requirement. You need to complete at least 3 trainings per quarter. So that's a requirement in order to be a part of the program, is that you need to complete at least 3 trainings. And you can get those in a variety of ways. We host webinars every week, and we have our certified trainers run these webinars, and those can count as a training. You can run your own webinars. You can train people at your school or neighboring schools. So there are ways to get that requirement. And one last thing, since we don't actually have a physical event like the Google Teacher Academy, but we do arrange for online community hangouts that we have once a month, and we also do twice a year meetups in different regions. So I imagine that we're going to have a meetup in our UK office for our certified trainers in the near future. So there's a little matrix I have here about the difference between the Google Certified Teacher, or GCT, and our Google Apps for Education Certified Trainer, which I'm calling Apps CT, as kind of to show the focus of apps. So the Google Teacher Academy, and as a Google Certified Teacher, you really are well versed in all things Google. So it's not just Google Apps for Education. You're also learning about Google Earth and Google Search and Google Books and all of those different products. While a Google Apps for Education Certified Trainer, while knowledge of those things is nice, we're really looking at you to have the solid foundation of Google Apps for Education. And so then again, we have a different event for the Google Certified Teachers, while we have optional regional meetups if you want to come for a trainer. As a Google Certified Teacher, you do have a requirement to produce an action plan. It's more of a takeaway from the Google Teacher Academy of what you've learned, how are you going to share it with others. So it's a much more fuzzy requirement. While as a certified trainer, you are held to doing 3 trainings per quarter. And then finally, I already talked about the product focus. So let me go ahead and bring up, as far as becoming a Google Certified Trainer, I wanted to show you some of the websites that I have. So if I go to this is at our Google Apps for Education website. Under Resources, you'll see we have something called Certified Trainer Programs. So this is where you can find the access to the training center. So this is that training center I was talking to, where it's very comprehensive. There's over 700 pages technically in here. We're in the process of actually converting it into Google Docs, so it's a bit more manageable to update. But you'll see that, if I go into Mail, we have it broken down into each of these different chapters. So you can go through these chapter by chapter. And so each of the exams correlate with each one of these modules that we have here. And I like to tell people that Google is a search company. We believe very strongly in search, and the exams are not closed browser. So that's my hint to you guys, without explicitly saying it. But I will say it does help to go through these content as much as possible, because there are some nuanced questions that are in the exams, and there's lots of great content that you might not even be aware of, even as an expert. So back to my other page. Let me go back. So on this the training programs, here's the link to the exams that we have. The Certified Trainer Program does an overview of everything that we're talking about here, and it's lacking a button, which I'm trying to get added. But right here will take you to the application, so you can see more about that application. And then right here is our Certified Trainer Directory. So you'll see that we have all these different trainers available, and each one of these trainers will then have a link to their Google Apps Marketplace listing. So in our Google Apps Marketplace, we have a special EDU specialist category, and this is where our certified trainers are listed. So there's got multiple different listings. So that's kind of an overview of the certified trainer where your promotion happens. And so just wanted to get those links back out to you. The application for the Google Certified Teacher Program or the application for the Google Teacher Academy is at google.com/educators/gta.html. And then that little site that had all those 4 links for the Certified Trainer Program, you can access at google.com/apps/teacher training. So, usually there's quite a few questions. So I'm happy to just take a moment to answer any questions that you guys might have. Or I can also stick around here and you guys can come and ask me individually if you don't want to have them broadcast. I think I talked about travel. Trying to think if there's any other common questions that come up. I don't know. Any questions? Yeah. How many times? Oh, good question. So the question is, how many times can you take the exams if you fail? So you can take them as many times as you want, but you have to wait 7 days after you fail an exam to retake it, and you need to complete all 6 of them within 90 days. So, and that's when you pass the first one. So after you pass the first one, you have 90 days to pass the remainder. I'm sorry? The specific... Oh, qualifications. So the qualifications for the Certified Trainer Program are to pass the exams. Oh, the trainer program. Yep. So the trainer program, you have to pass all of the exams. Yes. For the Google Apps Certified Trainer Program, you have to pass all of the exams. That's one of the requirements. As a Google Certified Teacher or applying to the Google Teacher Academy, there are no set requirements, but you do have to go through the application. Yeah. Yeah.
If you have to school training at the teachers,
Uh-huh.
does the school get remunerated for that time you're out of class?
So the question is, if you're out of school and doing these trainings, does the school get remunerated for those costs? So unfortunately, no. That's not something that we support in this program. Really, this is meant to be a status and an advantage to the individual, where you get this stamp of approval from us, and you get the kind of different benefits that we're able to provide. But that kind of monetary support, we're not able to provide at this time. Yep. Yes. So the question is, can you market yourselves with the status that you get as becoming a Google Certified Teacher or Google Apps for Education Certified Trainer? Absolutely. We have a few branding guidelines that you need to follow, but you get access to the badge. You get, you can promote yourself however you want. Most people include it on their profiles, on their Twitter, Twitter descriptions, and it's a status that you'll find that often can get you accepted in different conferences as well. We have many of our Google Certified Teachers presenting at all the different educational conferences all over the world, and it does give you a little extra stamp of approval, I guess, from us. Yep. Any other questions? All right, great. I'll be around, so you can feel free to come up with me if you have any additional questions.